Hello and welcome to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be diving into Cathy Rain 2, Soothsayer. This is the sequel to the game I've just finished playing on my channel. That one came out a few years ago, but this one is brand new. Looking forward to diving in. Now, when you start a new game, it does say recommend playing the first game first. That's partly why I did that the way I have done it. Do I want to see a recap though? I don't think so, because we just finished playing it yesterday on the channel, so I think we're pretty much going to be good to go in and just get started. Game intended for mature audience. Graphic depictions of horror, explicit violence, suicide and other disturbing imagery. Okay, viewer discretion advised. Bear that in mind. May 20th, 1998. So this is 3 years after the first game.
We're closed. For fuck's sake.
Hey, kid.
Oh, Lucas.
Gee, what happened to you? Looks like somebody's been through the ringer.
You should mind your own business, old man, before I bring up your ex-wife.
Hey now, I'm just looking out for a former student of mine. You're always my business.
Oh, I bet I am. That's the only way a has-been like you could ever stay relevant.
Ha! Yeah, that must be it. Now, you gonna invite me in and just let me stand here like an asshole?
Fine, come in then. You want some coffee?
I got enough, old sis, thank you very much. That brew you make is rancid.
Oh, I did that on purpose. I wanted to do detective work, not dumb chores like some airbrained secretary.
Feigning incompetence, huh? Clever move.
I guess so. I just wish that shrewdness of mine could make me some money.
There's my segue. Did you hear the news on the Soothsayer?
I never took you for a sucker, Lucas. This is Cassidy. There's no way that reward is legit.
You're wrong. Mayor Adams is different. He's the real deal.
And you know this how exactly?
Well, because it just so happens that I was hired to find dirt on the guy. I got nada. Zip. He's a total Boy Scout.
Whatever. We're still talking about a serial killer. Do I look suicidal to you?
Kinda. You passed out at noon, stinking of booze, and that eviction notice hanging over your head isn't doing you any favors.
That's none of your concern. I'm handling it. I just need a goddamn case. A normal case. Free of homicidal maniacs.
Don't know what to tell you, kid. Things are looking kinda dry on that front, you dig?
Oh, God. Please don't try to sound hip, Lucas. Your Dick Tracy imitation is cringeworthy enough.
I suppose you could always pawn off that bike of yours. Buy you another month or two.
Tell him, Mildred. Lose the Catmobile? I'd rather chop off my left tit.
I may be a has-been, but I'm fairly sure that self-mutilation won't do you much good. A couple $100K, on the other hand.
I love money just as much as the next girl, but, I mean, this isn't just a long shot. It's about as likely as Mildred turning vegan and taking up juggling.
Come on, one more case, for old time's sake. 50-50 split. How could anyone beat my rugged charm and your youthful vigor?
Lucas, we both know you're about as charming as a clown at a funeral. And the last time I saw my vigor was 3 tequila bottles ago.
All right. I know what I'm beating. I'll drop it.
Look, thanks for the tip. I might actually take a shot at that bounty, but you need to accept that we're not a team anymore. We had a good run, but I have my own thing going. Look, see? My name is on the frosted glass and everything.
I can respect that. You're not allergic to a little quid pro quo from time to time, though, are you?
Now, that I can do. That's how the world works anyway. It's all just an endless circle jerk of quid pro fucking quo.
I don't quite see things that way, but my door is always open if you'd like to discuss the case.
Sure. May the best woman win.
You telling me I'd look good in a dress? Later, kid.
Bye, Lucas. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. I should have information on the Soothsayer somewhere in this room.
Okay, so we're looking into it. So the Soothsayer seems to be a serial killer that people are hunting for, I guess. She mentioned that in Cassidy. I can see that that's on this skyline poster, so I imagine Cassidy is actually the name of the city that they're in.
The city we're in,
There you go.
Unfortunately.
So that was a bit confusing to me. There was a lot of information there. None of it really related to the previous game, I think, apart from the cat Mildred. Wasn't Mildred a college roommate's middle name? Eileen. Eileen Mildred, whatever her face was. She might even reference that if she goes and talks to the cat.
Who's the best fluff ball? Couldn't agree more.
I noticed the sort of busy icon. It looks a bit like the Thundercats logo as well. Anyway, so does Spacebar. Spacebar holds down hotspots. It doesn't bring up the words anymore. In a way, that's better, I think, isn't it? So it gives you a reason to click on stuff.
Thanks for the headache, you Mexican jerk. Yeah. Maybe there's something about the killings in these papers. All right. I found a few interesting articles about the most recent murder.
I don't know if it's the same voice actress. It might be. Like, it's been 6 or so years since the first game, I think. In the first game, she definitely reminded me quite a lot of Mila Kunis. It wasn't her, but her voice style reminded me a bit of her. But she sounds quite different in this game.
What bills? Never saw those. Nope, no siree.
In terms of the art, I'm liking it. It's pixel art like the first game was, but they've obviously gone a bit more detailed this time, which I think works.
Empty. All this gumshoe has left to pawn is her dignity.
So rather than a student, she's now got her own private detective agency,
Various
looks
reference
like.
books and technical manuals.
It's kind of fun.
My biggest fan, as depressing as that is.
Okay, what else we got? Phone book. Now, the phone and the phone book played quite a big part of the first game, like hunting
An
down
article in the
clues and
Chicago Tribune
locations
about
and
the
stuff.
Whitmore affair. My big breakthrough case last year. I've been meaning to get it framed, but I've been too busy with important things. You know, like drinking alone. When there's new messages, it blinks. It's high-tech like that.
What else we got? Notice board.
Just outdated casework. Can't bring myself to take them down.
Got a camera. Might take it with us, perhaps.
I should grab this in case I need to snap some shots.
Makes sense.
That cranky drawer is stuck good. I know Eileen had some magic trick to get it open. Too bad she's not around. It's a plastic laminator, a machine used to encase paper and other thin objects in transparent plastic. I mainly use it for fake IDs. My private investigator's license, issued last year. I was worried how Lucas would react, so I applied for it behind his back. I couldn't have been more wrong, though. That old fart has been nothing but supportive since then.
Okay, we've got another room back here. Ooh, okay. Lots more stuff. Bike tools.
Useful things for when the Catmobile needs a tune-up. Extra helmets. Eileen used to wear one of them back when things were different.
Was she and Eileen ever nice?
Every biker worth her salt has got a box like this somewhere. Eileen and me, before Rain investigation started going downhill. We worked great together, didn't we? I wish things didn't have to go the way they did. Nah, I'll live with my current face. This might be useful.
Okay, what else we got?
Uh-oh. That's quite a tequila face you got there, Kathy. Ugh, don't make me hurl. I'm way too hungover for coffee. Keeps me in perfect timing. Various spices and condiments, gathering dust. No time to do the stupid dishes. I've got a case to solve. Standard electric oven. Barely used. A postcard left by Jimmy Cochran, that strange old geezer I met at a mental institution a few years ago. He was discharged a year after we met, and for some reason he seems to think I had something to do with it. I better not open that. Wouldn't want the mold to spread.
Yeah.
It's a photo I took of the West End Bridge here in the city back in the day. Teenage Kathy had one of those artsy photographer phases. Nah, no fun alone and sober. My walk-in closet. It's a real mess in there. I better not open the door or I'd risk spilling all sorts of shit out here. How's it hanging, Lampy?
Lampy.
I better put that away later, for Mildred's sake. That little rascal has proven that yes, cats can get drunk. Still same old Cassidy, City of Gleam. Manhunt. I prefer their old material, but their latest album wasn't half bad. Oh, Cryptic Chaos. Can't wait till they're back in town. Maybe later. The red one goes better with this set. I shouldn't need to bring that. There's storage on the bike if I need it.
Okay, what else we got? Go back to bed?
I wish, but if I don't shape up and get some work done, I'm gonna end up sleeping somewhere way less comfy.
Alright. She'll automatically go to bed when you've completed all daily tasks. Okay. So we've got the cat, we've got the radio.
My radio, with a built-in cassette player. I prefer the quiet right now. Nothing out there but a brick wall and a bucket load of misery. Mildred's abode.
Okay, so do we have anything on our inventory? We've got our faithful stun gun and Zippo that we had in the first game, lockpicks, our newspaper articles, camera, and a makeup brush. Let's have a look at the newspaper article. Cassidy Tribune. Soothsayer targets best-selling author. Cassidy's serial killer hits high-profile victim. At age 49, the one and only Deborah Sinclair was tragically taken from us. She was stabbed to death on May 8th in her iconic cabin. The chilling signature mirror left on the scene made it clear that she had become yet another soothsayer victim. Okay. Science fair, dock strikes, but anyway, I move down like that, drag it. Okay. We are told by sources in the Cassidy Police Department that there was no sign of a break-in and no items of value were stolen. The cause of death came as no surprise. Acute blood loss caused by sharp force trauma. The circumstances surrounding this crime are strikingly similar to the original casualty of the soothsayer, Rose Taylor, also a middle-aged woman stabbed to death in her home. This makes 5 victims in 3 months, and the lack of results on the case is starting to anger the citizens of Cassidy. Mayor Adams gave the following statement on May 11. I'll be the first to admit that I'd hoped to see swifter progress concerning these killings. We plan to evaluate more radical measures in the coming weeks. Chief of Police had no comment. Final Cassidy mine closes. Okay. Oh, hang on. There was
All right. I think that's everything I've got on Deborah in here. When I'm ready to leave, I should be able to learn more about the other victims at the library.
Okay, I just wanted to go back into the article because I noticed there was another page. Here we go. Soothsayer viciously murders Deborah Sinclair. Famous writer's life has met an abrupt end. So this is her with her signature Yaupon tea, if you say so. Probably worth reading her obit, I suppose. We are devastated to report that the 5th victim of the Soothsayer was none other than the acclaimed author Deborah Sinclair, one of the most recognised faces of Cassidy. Loyal readers of Sinclair may realise that the previous victim, Jane Doe, was slain on the publication anniversary of Storm Chaser, one of Sinclair's classic novels. A simple coincidence, or do these murders have a deeper connection to the author? The publication anniversary. Okay, that could be significant. At some stage, the murder occurred in Sinclair's famous writer's retreat near the border of the National Park. The National Park Service was first on the site and is currently in control of the crime scene. As the NPS lacks the necessary training and resources to conduct murder investigations, we should expect that the crime scene will soon be handed over to the Soothsayer Task Force at the KPD. For now, the body has been transported to a city morgue, awaiting clearance for a pathological examination. Chief Ranger Samuel had the following comment. We're still establishing all of the facts surrounding this crime. Please be patient. We all want to do right by Deborah. Deborah was a long-time friend of the Gazette and led a prolific life with more than 30 novels published during her lifetime. On this sad day, we mourn the loss of a cultural icon, and we pray that her death will be the last at the hands of the vile soothsayer. All right, well, let's head to that library then and do a bit more research into some of the earlier victims. Perhaps there have been 5 in total now, by the sound of it. One of which was an unidentified victim, Jane Doe. Spacebar, yeah, I've already got that from the first game. But we keep having a look at stuff.
Ballet is not my kind of scene. Nah, I got one at home. That an actual avocado tree? Sure looks the part. So apparently if there's a fire, I'm supposed to run through those gigantic double doors 10 feet away. Phew, I'm saved. A plaque with some prominent donors. Interestingly, Deborah Sinclair is listed here.
Okay, we've got librarian.
Hi, I need some help, please.
Of course. How can I be of assistance?
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair?
Quite a bit. Do you have a more specific line of inquiry?
What kind of books did Deborah write?
She dabbled in many different genres over the years, but her main bulk of work could probably be defined as horror, mystery, or a combination of the two. Afflicted, Dead Ends Meet, and the Jenny Payne trilogy are some of her most well-known titles.
Huh, okay. Was she working on a new book when she died?
I believe so, yes. But I don't have any details to share.
Was Deborah a popular author?
Oh, yes. Even before her death. Afterwards, her popularity has reached astronomical levels.
I can imagine. Borrowing one of her books now is out of the question, right?
Correct. 6 months wait minimum.
Yeah, I figured. What do you know about the murder?
I believe she was killed at her writer's retreat, stabbed to death. The police say the MO was similar to the other victims, with the shattered mirror and all that.
Where's this writer's retreat located exactly?
There's an area called Bear Creek, just on the border of the national park. Sinclair owned a small cabin there.
All right, got it. That's a decent drive, so I think I'll head out there tomorrow.
New location.
What do you know about Deborah's private life?
She had quite an interesting life. Adopted as a child, and her adoptive father, Sebastian Willis Sinclair, was an accomplished author in his own right. Deborah's birth mother was a young homeless woman, and her father was a Native American. Deborah spent much of her life trying to track down her biological father, unsuccessfully. Perhaps in some part, due to her roots, Deborah's books have often contained subject matter inspired by Native American religion. She was childless and unmarried when she passed away. Rumors say she was gay, but God knows tabloids are quick to jump to conclusions. I don't think she ever clarified that matter to the public. If you are curious to learn more, I would highly recommend her acclaimed autobiography, Unbound.
Oh, I might check that out. Thanks for the information. I'm looking to find some information on the Soothsayer.
Ah, quite a few people have taken an interest in that case lately.
That's so. Well, I'm not scared of a little competition. So, you got anything for me?
Yes. I would direct you to the microfilm viewer at the end of the hall. We have full scans of all of the major newspapers dating all the way back to the 50s.
Perfect. I should be able to browse those for some articles about the murders.
Indeed. If I may ask, what is your own interest in the case?
You probably heard there's a reward, right? I'm a PI, and money is tight, so...
I see. I suppose we each have our own ways to make a living.
What's this thing? Oh yeah. Oh, we can ask about things in the background. That's cool. Okay, what about these?
Those boxes over there can be rented anonymously, right?
Yes. Would you like me to set that up for you?
Not right now. But if I'm evicted in a few weeks, I might just take you up on that.
Oh, I sincerely hope it doesn't come to that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I borrow one of those magazines?
Yes, but only for reading here in the library. You're not allowed to exit the building with them.
Got it. Thanks.
Inventory stuff, anything worth asking about? Probably not. Maybe we're done
Thanks. I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
You can rent one of those if you lack a fixed address. Let's hope things don't come to that. A bunch of magazines. Mostly celebrity gossip, it looks like. If I need a book, I should use the computer.
Okay. So we're probably going to start off with the microfilm viewer, aren't we? Is that this computer? Printer,
Some
statue.
local hero from the Civil War, I think? Well, either that or Beethoven. That guy gets around. Okay, let's see here. It would take ages to look through all the microfilms since the killings began, so maybe I can figure out on what date the murder prior to Deborah's occurred. Hopefully I can deduce the date of the previous murder from the articles I picked up at the office. When I have a good date written down, I can view the corresponding microfilm and look for useful information.
Okay, so we know it's the publication anniversary of Storm Chaser, so why don't we look that up on the computer, maybe? So Storm, it's one word, isn't it? Storm Chaser. So publication date was the 25th of April, 87. So that would have been, if it's January now, oh no, it's May now, isn't it? So we want to go to April 25th.
All right, I've got a date written down. I can use that to find the corresponding microfilm.
All right, let's give that a go.
Yeah, this date should be good. I'll search through a week or so of microfilm, starting from the date I've written down. Hopefully I can find some useful information on the previous victim. Yes, there we go. I'll have these printed. All right, rinse and repeat. I should try to determine the previous microfilm date based on the information in these new pages. That way I can make my way back from article to article, victim to victim, until I get all the way to the first murder. Let's see here.
Okay, so this is the Jane Doe, isn't it? Soothsayer burns Jane Doe alive. Oh dear, okay. The infamous Soothsayer has cranked up the heat on his killing spree as the latest victim, a young woman in her early 20s, was determined to have been brutally burned alive on Constance Hill. The death occurred on the night of April 25th. Due to the state of the remains, Jane Doe's identity has been difficult to ascertain. Despite indications of dental work on the corpse, there were no matching dental records anywhere in the city, leading police to believe that the woman was not local. The lack of a struggle could mean that the victim was incapacitated, but the condition of the body gives little clarity on that matter. Picking a public site like this, where was it? Constance Hill, was a risky proposition for the Soothsayer, but he may have banked on the fact that distant witnesses would assume that the fire came from the nearby fire pit. Mayor Adams offered this comment: "As unpleasant as it is, I must ask you to be patient. Let Ed, Cassidy Chief of Police Edgar Mitchell Brown, and his team do their job. KPD has my full confidence in this matter, and City Hall stands vigilant to assist in any way we can. For our extensive coverage of the previous victim, Deacon Townsend, see issue number 842. So, is it source of weekly news? So we want to go 3 weeks before April 29th. Do I click on that at all? No. Okay, let's go here. Task force established. This is Ed. The Soothsayer has claimed a fourth victim, an unidentified woman estimated to have been 18 years old. Her charred remains were found on the outskirts of Cassidy, near the overlook at Constance Hill. The cause of death is yet to be determined. The Soothsayer victims do not seem to share any obvious similarities in terms of gender, age, occupation, or social class, and the killing methods, locations, and disposal of the bodies are all different. However, the killings have all occurred within the Greater Cassidy area over a period of 3 months. So, we want to, as far back as January we'll be going, which would indicate that the Soothsayer is somewhat local to the area. In related news, the Cassidy Chief of Police has recently announced that the investigation of these killings will be taken over by the newly created Soothsayer Task Force. Edgar Mitchell Brown said the following during a press conference on April 26th. As of May 1st, the so-called Soothsayer slayings will be investigated by a dedicated task force of 8 senior detectives handpicked from various divisions at the Cassidy Police Department. Rest assured that this elite group has every resource at their disposal. When asked whether or not the FBI would be involved, he replied, "There is no federal jurisdiction in this case. I have no further comment." We'll take it. The Gazette has frequently criticised the Cassidy Police Department for their errors in the past, but credit where credit is due. This is a step in the right direction. So, so this was, yes. So 44 would have been April 22nd. 43 would be April 15th. So we want to go back to April 8th.
I know where Constance Hill is, but that's a fair distance from the city. Better save it for tomorrow. For now, I'll put Jane Doe on hold and see what I can find about the previous murder victim.
Alright, so let's go back to April 8th, I said. Yeah, 29th, yeah, so it comes out on Wednesday. So 845, 844, 843, so it's this
I've already
one.
written down that date.
Okay.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here. Okay, let's have a look.
Yes, okay, so we've got we did do that right. Deacon. We are sad to report that a third member of our community is... Sorry, my doorbell went, so let me start that again. We are sad to report that a third member of our community has been taken out by the so-called Soothsayer, who appears to be Cassidy's first serial killer. The victim's name was Benedict Townsend, age 51. Our sources say that his death occurred on April 3rd, and that Townsend was likely murdered in a staged suicide by hanging. Townsend served as a deacon at the King of Kings Catholic Church, an old congregation dating back to the early 1900s. He was a beloved figure in the community, well known for his voluntary work. Reverend Hugh Winters, the pastor of the King of Kings, had the following to say: "My heart aches for Ben's soul and everything he had left to give to the world, but I take some comfort in the fact that he is now with the Lord. And for the person or persons who did this to my friend, know that there will be a reckoning. Murder is a sin most vile, and God sees all." The King of Kings remains open as the crime occurred in the adjacent rectory building. However, the rectory will remain under lock and key until properly consecrated. Okay. Yes, this is quite long, but we are trying to find clues to the previous one. 3 killings in 2 months connected by foreboding signature. Deacon Benedict Townsend, age 51, was found dead early on April 4th in the rectory of the King of Kings Catholic Church. The cause of death was determined to be hanging, but suicide has been ruled out by the KPD. An anonymous police source had the following to say: "Somebody else was involved. The positioning of the body and other logistics don't add up if he was alone." This scenario is eerily similar to that of Eric Holloway, the postman who met his demise on that ominous full moon night last month, so March full moon. His death was initially treated as a suicide, but later revised to homicide. Now, the Gazette brings you the exclusive scoop. Both of these killings, as well as the brutal stabbing of nurse Rose Taylor back in February, are linked by an object left at the scene, a shattered obsidian mirror, colloquially referred to as a scrying mirror. These mirrors have been used since ancient times to see the future or communicate with the spirit world. Does the Soothsayer responsible for these murders have a religious motive? Our source continues, it's a signature. This killer is no hack. He hasn't left any other forensic evidence that can be traced back to him, so the mirror has to be deliberate. Townsend was a well-liked figure in the community, known for his charity work and a long-time member of the church. Okay, so I'm going to skip past the rest of this. I think we've got the key stuff here. So we're looking for a full moon in March.
Okay, I'll make sure to look into that church later and maybe find the address. For now, let's move on to victim number 2.
Right, so back to March. We have the phases of the moon here. Is that new moon or full moon? I'm going to... That would be a bit close to the previous murder. It seems to be a bit more spaced out. I think maybe that's the full moon.
Yes, this should be the right date.
I could be wrong on that, but one of two. 50-50. She's printing it, so maybe it was right. Here we go. Prominent suicide morphs into homicide. Initially reported as a suicide, the death of Eric Holloway on March 12th has been officially reclassified by KPD as a homicide. Since this public death occurred, multiple reliable witnesses have come forward claiming that the victim was pushed off the roof of the building at 4 Verdant Street. However, there are no detailed descriptions of the perpetrator, likely due to the limited illumination of the roof area at night. Holloway led a quiet and simple life, working as a mailman for the city, and is said to have been well liked by his peers. However, there are unverified reports of mental health problems related to the death of his fiancée last year. Police sources told us that there are links to the brutal motel stabbing of nurse Rose Taylor on Statehood Day. So something in February, Statehood Day, I don't know quite what that is, but we're reluctant to share further details of an ongoing investigation. A 32-year-old man leapt from the roof, instantly killing himself on the pavement below, making a grisly spectacle for neighbours and bystanders alike. Friends and neighbours claimed that the victim had struggled with the death of his girlfriend, but no suicide note has been recovered. Events like this reiterate that mental health, okay, so that's fine. We're looking for Statehood Day in February.
Eric's address isn't too far away, but I should learn all I can here before I visit any of the crime scenes. Coming up last, the very first victim of the Soothsayer.
Right, so February, Statehood Day, there we go.
Yes, this should be the right date. Let's see here.
Satanist responsible for motel slaughter? A brutal stabbing occurred at the Azure Sky Motel on February 5th, and our sources now say that there is an occult angle to the killing, with some sort of artifact left on the scene. The husband of the victim was briefly detained but released a day later. Law enforcement claims that he remains a person of interest, however, and confirmed that the cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the chest. Okay, there's the motel. On February 7th, Rose Amanda Taylor, age 47, was found dead by Robert Tippett, the owner of the Azure Sky Motel. Taylor had been stabbed to death by an unknown perpetrator. Blood everywhere like a goddamn butcher room, Tippett says, wide-eyed, and continues to emphasise that this city is going to hell. You go ahead and print that. Neighbours report hearing a commotion from the room, but that was apparently a regular occurrence, and no one went to investigate. Taylor is survived by her husband and 2 children, who have declined a request to be interviewed. The husband was briefly detained, but is no longer considered a suspect. There we go.
All right, that should be everything on the microfilms. I think I'll continue to focus on gathering information today and then head to each of the murder sites tomorrow.
Okay, so what's going on?
I think I'll look into that church next, the King of Kings. There was no mention of an address for it in the newspapers.
This is a library computer, so I don't think it'll be internet ready, but maybe the librarian... We might be able to go back to our office as well, of course. It's probably in the yellow pages. I guess I could ask the librarian.
One more thing.
Yes?
Do you know anything about the King of Kings Catholic Church?
I'm not familiar with that church, sorry.
I mean, that's
Thanks.
okay.
I'll come back if I have more questions.
Very well. Good luck.
Any of the magazines
A bunch
relevant?
of magazines.
No, celebrity gossip, that's fine. Okay, so let's go back to the office. Well, she may have the internet on her computer. It's 98. That's around when I got email, I think, for the first time. So, okay, so she's got Constance Hill, Bear Creek, Verdant Street. Oh, there's a little truck behind her now. But let's go and see if we can find this church. She hasn't actually got a computer.
The yellow pages. Handy for looking up people and businesses.
So let's look up King of Kings.
Great. I've got the address to the church. I'll head over there tomorrow. I think it's time to see what I can find about the Azure Sky Motel.
Okay.
Got the number. I'll call first and see if a visit makes sense. God knows I have to be careful with those last drops of gas left in the bike.
Okay, anything else? Yeah, that's probably it. Right, let's ring the motel.
Thank you for calling the Azure Sky Motel, your oasis in Cassidy. How may I help you?
Hi there. This is Kathy Rain from Rain Investigations. I have some questions.
All right, then.
So who was the Azure Sky Motel victim? Was it? It was Rose Taylor, wasn't it? Oh, we can ask about the motel first.
What can you tell me about your motel?
The Azure Sky is a long-time family business. We've been serving tenants faithfully for over 40 years now.
Oh, wow, quite a while. So, how many tenants do you have?
We don't keep records of the number of tenants, but we have 50 rooms of varied sizes. We're about 3/4 full, but expecting to be fully booked during tourist season in the summer.
Wait, tourists actually come to Cassidy? Somebody deserves a raise for one hell of a marketing campaign.
No patriot of the community, huh? That's a shame. This city has a lot more to offer than people like you give it credit for.
To each their own, I guess.
All right, what about Rose Taylor then?
So, I hear that one of your tenants was murdered back in February? Rose Taylor.
No shit. Here I thought the boys in blue ransacked this whole place just for shits and giggles.
That happens more often than you'd think. Come on, man. Help a girl out.
Sorry for the attitude, but you know you're the umpteenth person to ask about that, right?
I get that, so how about we stick with the short version?
Fine. No, I don't know anything that isn't in the papers. No, you can't see the room. It's rented out. And even if you did go in there, there's nothing that the cops or cleaners haven't removed since friggin' February.
Understood. So, what about the next of kin? She had a husband, right?
Yeah, he came by later to pick up the personal effects. I just met the guy for a few minutes.
Did you catch his name?
I did, but I don't think he'd appreciate me giving out his name to some random lady on the phone. No offense.
I am a bit offended, actually. I'm not some random lady. I'm a licensed private investigator and a renowned one at that. Ever hear of the Whitmore affair?
That does sound familiar.
Well, that was me. Now, here's a friendly piece of advice. Choose the path of least resistance. I can be a much bigger pain in the ass than this Mr. Taylor, believe me.
All right, fine. It's Orson. Orson Taylor.
That wasn't so hard, was it? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's look him up in the phone book.
That's
now.
all, thanks.
You're welcome. Have a great day now.
Let's get his address.
All right, found the husband's number. Here's hoping he's willing to talk to me.
All right, call him, I guess.
You've reached the Taylors. No one's home right now, but if you leave your details after the beep, I'll get back to you.
Hi, Mr. Taylor. This is Kathy Rain, private investigator. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions. You can reach me at 555-142-062. Thanks in advance. Bye. I think I followed up on what I can today for each of the different victims. Just one thing left to do. I noticed that the Gazette had the best coverage of the Soothsayer out of all the city papers. I think it's time to pay a dear old friend a visit.
Okay. They were journalism's majors, weren't they? So I'm wondering if Eileen's working at the Gazette, maybe? Could be. That looks like a redhead.
All right, here we are. Let's see how E is doing. Hello, sunshine. How's my favorite Christian reporter?
Oh, what do you want, Kathy? I'm on a deadline here.
No small talk, huh? Can't I check in on a friend?
I wish, but we both know you only show up when you need something.
Ouch. Well,
Their friendship really fell
I
apart.
did have something I wanted to talk to you about.
Let's hear it then.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
The serial killer? But... Oh no, it's that stupid reward, isn't it?
You betcha. Money in the bank, baby.
Oh, brother. I'd say this is a terrible idea, Kathy, but it's not like you listen to me anyway.
Oh, come on, Eileen. Don't be like that.
Come on, Eileen.
No, don't even go there. Do you know how many times I had to go to HR to get people to stop quoting that stupid
I think I did that in
song?
the first game.
Poor old Johnny Ray sounded sad upon the radio.
Art, make her stop.
Why? It's not a half bad performance.
You guys are like peas in a pod.
Ugh, well, now I lost my groove. I hope you're happy.
Ecstatic. Are you done wasting my time now?
Oh, lighten up, E. Aren't you thrilled about another big case? Teaming up, just like old times?
You can't just pretend nothing happened, Kathy. You fired me, remember?
Oh.
I'll unfire you?
Yeah, right. How do you even know you'll get that reward? This is Cassidy we're talking about.
I was thinking the same thing, but Lucas did his homework. He says this new mayor is the real deal.
That silly old man. He just wants one last case with his protege before retirement, even if it means you'll get yourselves serial killed.
And I'm all here for it.
Of course you are. It's not like self-preservation is anywhere on your hierarchy of needs.
Can't argue with that. So, speaking of my, needs, what do you know about Cassidy's most prolific murderer?
Not much. You should ask Art. He's much more up to date on that stuff, being our crime correspondent and all.
I don't know if we really have much else to talk to her about, as unkind as that sounds. But we should probably talk to the other
I'll
guy.
let you get back to your work.
All right, see you later.
A few family photos. Eileen's got a big Christian family. Man, her brother is a hunk. Wouldn't mind getting some of that. Hey, do you mind if I borrow some tape, E?
Fine.
Right, we're gonna go klepto mode. Anything else?
Hey, E, can I have one of your cards?
Sure, go ahead.
Cute little frog. E has had that thing as long as I've known her. Oh, it says someone needs to rehome their cat. I'd be open to that, but Mildred would lose her shit. My fluffball needs her Lebensraum.
Control-Shift-L, I think.
Oh, what the heck? Now it's...
Of course, he's a green tea guy. Drinking coffee like a normal person would be much too sane.
Oh. All right, then. Whew.
Some old sports trophy. Guess Art was into that in his oh-so-distant youth.
I adore this new office. Finally out of that gloomy dungeon.
I remember that. Something about a corrupt church. When the story broke, the place was shut down and some of the higher-ups went to jail.
You rookies piled on that he got his
All right, let's
thumb
talk
out
to
of
Art.
his ass.
Art Hopkins. Just the man I need to see.
That's so. This better be good.
What do you know about the Soothsayer?
What do I know? I made the Soothsayer. Before me, he was the Mirror Murderer, the Cassidy Ripper, or whatever derivative moniker those dullards at the Times or the Sun can muster up.
Oh, wow. So what's your take on the guy?
I could see right through you, Rain. You're a bad apple, and it stinks all the way up here. Finally got a whiff of that reward, huh?
Can't blame a girl for trying. You've got your sights on that money too, huh?
Who doesn't? It's 200 fucking grand. I got a juicy new lead, too.
A new lead, huh? I doubt it's that impressive.
Nice try. I'm not gonna slip up. Word of advice, go back to your cheaters and insurance frauds and leave the Soothsayer to the big boys.
Let's work through stuff.
What do you know about Deborah Sinclair? The most recent Soothsayer victim?
Don't waste your breath about the Soothsayer. I'm not gonna say squat.
Oh.
What do you know about scrying mirrors?
Certainly more than you. I'd be surprised if you ever picked up a book.
Are you familiar with the King of Kings Catholic Church?
Don't waste your breath.
What do you know?
Stop wasting my time.
I don't need to ask. A new lead, huh?
Okay, that seems to be a bit of a dead end.
I don't want to show that to him. I don't want to show. I don't want to. I don't want to show that to him. I don't want to.
Probably it then. Oh, unless...
That's quite the story you've got framed up there on that wall.
Oh, yes. One of my proudest accomplishments.
It must have taken ages to break that story, right?
Half a year undercover. Now that's a proper investigation.
That's dedication. Lots of sermons to listen to, I take it?
Ugh, too many. I could feel my gray matter shrinking with every psalm, hymn, and other delusion thrown my way.
What made you decide to investigate the church?
I had a family member in that parish. They told me some strange stories. Didn't take long for my reporter's instinct to kick in.
Oh. Must have been tough to ruin a loved one's place of worship.
They're better off, believe me. I'd prefer to keep them out of organized religion altogether, but at least now they're no longer associated with goddamn criminals.
What was the fallout? Some people were arrested, right?
If by some you mean a lot, yeah. 12 people charged, 9 convicted, and about 100 years of prison time sentenced in total.
Damn. The state shut the church down too, right?
Oh, sure did.
Good riddance. They should bulldoze the whole block and turn it into a parking lot.
Your words, not mine, Rin.
What else we got? Statue?
I see that somebody's desperate to milk their achievements on the high school sports team.
You were always picked last, weren't you, Rain?
So, you're one of those green tea guys, huh?
Of course, I take my health very seriously.
Oh, I couldn't tell. You're about 48, right? I can see that receding hairline of yours.
Ha ha, you ain't exactly the poster child for health yourself, Rain. I could smell last night's booze all the way from here.
That's a Michiru Pro, right? Early edition?
Correct. You got an eye for quality.
Force of habit. A PI with blurry pictures wouldn't last very long.
Leave that for now.
All right, that's all I needed.
Okay then.
Gonna need to get Art's lead. I'm not quite sure how we'll do it. Let's task Eileen about it.
Hey, E, one more thing.
Yeah?
What do you know about this new lead that Art supposedly picked up on the Soothsayer?
Nothing. I don't work with him directly.
Maybe you could find out?
No, Kathy. I respect Art. I'm not gonna mess with his story.
We could try asking about stuff.
What's your opinion on Art?
Oh, he's a great journalist. I have a lot to learn from him.
But
No buts, Kathy. Stop trying to stir up trouble.
I don't want to ask her. Still keeping that little bugger around, huh?
Oh, I wouldn't part with Ribbit for the world.
Hey, your brother is pretty hot. Mind if I...
Not a chance, Kathy.
So, I heard about this expose Art did on a church here in town.
Well, yes. It's not like Christians are immune to bad behavior.
I don't want to Hey, this is nice. Doesn't feel as cheap as mine.
Oh, thanks. I guess that's one of the perks of working at a paper. Access to quality printing.
Don't know, really.
I'll let you get back to your work.
All right, see you later.
She respects Art too much to do a little digging, huh? That guy's a grade A asshole. It shouldn't take much to bring that out front and center.
Maybe we should ask him
How's
about
that little beep?
Can I pick...
Here, what?
Ask him about that article again. She didn't
Can
seem
I
to
ask
like
again?
it.
Sure.
It must...
Half a year undercover.
Let's really up the
Oh, God.
antagonism.
I wouldn't make it 6 minutes, let alone 6 months among a bunch of embezzling Bible thumpers.
That's why I'm the best. I do what it takes to get the scoop.
It must...
Okay, we
Half a
want the
year-
ones that she reacts to, so that's this
That's
one.
Ugh.
What made...
I had a family member in that pair.
Oh.
Right, so this
What
one.
was the...
If by...
Damn.
Oh, sure.
Maybe this one.
That's a shame. They didn't have to punish the whole congregation just because the leadership was corrupt.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about. That place was rotten to the core.
Ahem.
Okay,
Alright,
so she might have changed her
Okay.
opinion on him now because of that.
Oof. I don't think Art's Eileen's favorite person right now.
Yeah, let's ask her again.
Hey, E, one more thing.
Yeah?
Man, I'm itching to know what Art's new lead on the Soothsayer is.
I bet, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Not that he's been my favorite person lately.
You could still find out, right? Don't you want to ruffle that arrogant prick's feathers a bit?
Oh, well,
Pretty please.
okay, fine. I'll try, but no promises.
You're the best.
Either that or I'm just a slow learner.
Okay.
I'll let you get back to your work.
All right, see you later.
We just kind of leave her to it, maybe?
Art is one step ahead of me with the sooth. I should learn what I can about the Soothsayer.
Look at the business card. That might enter Eileen's number into our...
It's Eileen's business card. Her work number here might be useful.
There we go.
There's a Bible quote printed on the back. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. A bright red roll of tape that E was kind enough to lend me.
Okay, I'm wondering if we ring her from our office, having, some time will obviously have elapsed. Maybe she'll have found that out for us. No message there.
Maybe tomorrow.
Right, okay. I mean, is that it for the day?
I wish, but if I...
Okay, so what else can we do?
I should learn what I can about the Sooth. Art is one step ahead of me. Nah, I'm not that. The Cassidy Gazette, a mid-sized paper and one of the oldest still active in the city. Hey, E, one more.
Yeah?
Did you do that thing for us yet? Okay, maybe we'll ask about the other stuff.
What do you know?
I like her books. Awful thing that happened to her, though.
What do you know about the?
Oh, nothing.
What do you know about?
I don't know.
Hey, you're a Christian.
It depends on the denomination, but a deacon belongs to a church and can practically do the same work as a priest, with the exception of sermons and rites.
Interesting. Thanks. Are you familiar with scrying mirrors?
I think so, yeah. You mean the black ones made out
It'd
of
be worth
obsidian,
looking for those
right?
at the
Yep.
library.
What do you know about them?
Not a lot. I know they've been around since ancient times and that they're quite popular in New Age culture today. My friend Meadow is totally into that stuff. I bet she'd tuck your ear off about it.
Oh? Sounds great. Where can I find her?
Or that.
Let me call her tonight and ask first, okay? She can be a bit peculiar about things.
Sure. Not a problem. Alrighty, it's getting late.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna get out of your hair
so
before Art
we
rats
just had to
me
pump
out
her for a
and
bit more
calls security.
info.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. He's not as bad as you think, Kathy. You guys are actually quite alike.
Oh God, you better take that back before you make me take up smoking again.
Huh. I have no doubt you'll be able to resist the temptation. Bye, Kathy.
Bye. Rain Investigations.
Kathy? It's me, Eileen.
Hey, E. What's up?
Oh, just burning the midnight oil. So, I wanted to let you know that I found Art's new lead on the Soothsayer.
Amazing. Do tell.
Well, you know those people who were killed? Apparently, they were all under the influence of some sort of illegal drug.
Interesting. What type of drug?
I'm not sure, but this toxicology report here says that the street name is Pyre.
Never heard of that one. I better go ask Lionel.
Lionel? Who is that?
My drug... Well, a friend of mine, that's all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd say you should take better care of yourself, Kathy, but you've heard it all before.
Pretty much, but seriously, thanks, E. I owe you one.
Don't worry about it. Oh, and by the way, you know Meadow, that friend I was telling you about?
Yeah, what about her?
She said you can come see her tomorrow. She's got an RV over on the west side, Sycamore Lane 21.
Perfect. I'll go talk to her in the morning.
Okie dokie. I gotta get back to work now, but I guess I'll see you around?
You bet. Catch you later, E.
Bye, Kathy.
Okay.
Pyre, huh? I better call the cop shop and ask Josh about that.
You've reached Detective Everett, Narcotics. I'm not available right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Hey, Josh, this is Kathy Rain. Been a while, huh? Let's meet and catch up. I have something I want to run by you. Hit me up at my work number, will ya? Okay, bye. All right, I guess that's that. Let's see if Lionel is at his usual spot.
Okay. At the hour mark, I tend to leave it there, but I think let's go and talk to this guy. I think that it probably makes sense just to try and finish off the day and then deal with day 2 in the next episode. So let's go and see one more guy. Is that him? Looks like it. What else have we got here? Not a huge amount. Just talk to the guy.
Hey, what's up, Lionel?
Hey, girlfriend. You here for the white stuff?
Not this time, buddy.
Oh, you broke?
Well, I am, but that's not...
You just broke. Well, I ain't giving you a tab. I'd never see my money back. No offense.
I don't want a fucking Coke tab, Lionel. I just had some questions.
Whoa. What's with the hostility, girl? There's no reason to be unsavory among friends.
Sorry, rough day. Can I run something by you?
Go on, then. I suppose I got some time to spare.
Do you know Pyre?
Oh, yeah. Strong trip, they say. I'd love to get my hands on some of that.
Hard to come by, I take it?
No doubt. I never got so much as a whiff of the stuff.
Oh, really? Who's slinging?
No one I know. Sketchy motherfuckers, though, whoever they are.
How so?
Well, for one, you won't find them on the corner like us, regular hard-working candy men.
Yeah, you're all salt of the earth. How do they conduct business, then?
Well, they pretty much don't.
I'm not following.
Well, join the club, 'cause it's some real candid camera shit. Every now and then, one of them dope fiends starts yapping on about some creepy fucker giving them pyre, and it's always on the house. Trying to run an honest pusher out of business.
Some kind of obtuse marketing tactic?
If it is, those people sure as hell ain't capitalizing on it.
Some half-assed DEA honeypot operation, then?
No way. The feds don't give a fuck about Cassidy, trust me.
Who are these fiends, then? Got any names?
Nah, I don't ask for names. And the junkie clientele all look the same to me, no offense.
Ha. So you don't know anyone who could get pyre? Some drug dealer you are.
Now, I didn't say that. There is this one person who just might be able to pull it off.
Yeah?
A friend of the boss. Ultra-wealthy connoisseur. Tries everything once, apparently. Rich. I mean old money rich. Deeply connected.
Quite the sales pitch. Are you gonna give me a name or just leave a girl hanging in suspense?
Now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Surely a gumshoe such as yourself is well aware that information is a commodity.
I told you, I'm fucking broke, Lionel.
And I ain't deaf. We're talking a simple exchange. If you find out who's slinging pyre, you send the Love Lion a word.
Deal. Loaded guy's name, please.
It ain't a guy, strictly speaking. It's one of those, transsexual types. Prefers to go by the name Hannah Verdue.
Verdue? That rings a bell. Some French family, right? Mine owners?
You tell me. Sounds about right.
So what do you know about Hannah Verdue?
Not much, but I know she owns and runs a place on the south side. The Club of Hearts.
Catchy name. Casino?
Poetry club, if you can believe that.
I can. Sure sounds like an appropriate waste of money for a Verdue.
Yeah, I suppose those motherfuckers ran out of rooms to put golden bathtubs in.
Either that or mammoth wool rug suddenly went out of style. So that poetry club, do you know where it is?
South side, that's all I know. Never patronized myself.
That's probably largely it.
That's it. Later, Lionel.
Until next time, hot stuff.
Back to the office to get an address for the place, perhaps? If she decides to go this evening, I'll probably end it there, but let's...
All right, found an address. They're not open until Friday
There we
night,
go.
though.
Okay.
Guess I'll have to wait a couple of days. Ugh, I'm beat. You want to hit the sack, girl? Come on, then. So, there's something I need to tell you.
Yeah, I know, kid. Time to move on, huh?
Yeah. Is it that obvious?
I wouldn't be much of a PI if I couldn't see the writing on the wall for this one. It was nice having you around, though, kid. You spruced up the place, I gotta say.
Well, don't get lazy without me. I'm sure you still have a couple of years of detective work left in you.
Oh, that's all I need. Just a couple of more cases. Then I'm riding off into the sunset.
What's going on, Lucas?
What do you mean? Something wrong with my vacation outfit? I've always been a sun-kissed kind of guy.
So those are the types of change she saw in like the upside down that we had in the first Kathy Rain. Day 2.
Ooh, okay, Kathy. Enough loitering. Time to get back out there. You've got places to be.
Cool. Okay, and I think we'll leave it there for this time. We'll come back next time and investigate probably the crime scenes. I'd like to talk to the girl who knows more about the scrying mirror stuff. We might even do that first. But yeah, we'll come back to it next time. So thanks very much for watching this first episode of Kathy Rain 2, Soothsayer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm really enjoying it. I like point and clicks. I enjoyed the previous game, and it's nice to get back into Kathy's boots, as it were, and start investigating another crime, or series of crimes in this case. So but let me know your thoughts if you have any on where this case might go in terms of, because the first Kathy Rain, I went in kind of expecting it to be fairly grounded. Like I was at some point with all the flying lights and stuff, I was expecting like maybe some sort of government thing that was happening at the nearby airbase, but it went way more metaphysical, supernatural than that. So it's quite possible this is going to go a similar direction. If you have any thoughts on that, maybe something to do with the mirrors, let me know. And if you've enjoyed this, as I hope you did, if you can hit that like button. And if you're watching this and still aren't subscribed to the channel, if you could do that as well, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.